Do you ever go to concerts today of bands you admired in younger years? Because I tend to surround myself in nostalgic music, I've seen several concerts from bands that I loved in my teens and early 20s. But when I do see them live, more often than not, I end up feeling, well, disappointed. They just don't sound as good as they do on the actual recordings. Some of this may be because they were heavily produced to begin with, and they can't actually replicate the sounds that were recorded. Or due to age or years of incorrect singing, maybe the vocalist just can't carry the tune like he did 20 or 30 years ago. And while I still do enjoy the show, sometimes I walk away feeling like their best years are behind them. However, the inverse is true when I hear someone who not only still has it, but can get me to enjoy the live show more than the recordings. I realize that's sort of a vague statement, but hopefully you know what I'm trying to say. Anyway, that's what I want to focus on today. Not the vague statements, but I mean the musicians who can still sing and play well. Back in February, I saw an artist named Angie Aparo. It was at a very small venue and we ended up getting front row seats. I was a bit timid to be sitting that close because I was afraid I'd get called out if I didn't know his songs well enough. You know, I'm not the super fan who knows his songs well enough to be sitting in the front row kind of called out. Anyway, I digress. When his album The American came out around the year 2000, it instantly became one of my favorites. But what I remember most of all is that he had this insane falsetto. I mean, that was one of the most identifiable traits he possessed. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of my favorite vocalists have destroyed their voices over the past 20 plus years. So naturally, I was a bit fearful that that would be the same case with Angie Aparo. Thankfully, it wasn't. He gave me permission to share a little of that concert with you, so hopefully this clip will show you what I mean.
I'll be there. She run home, for worse or better, baby. I know you like I believe every tear you cry. It's a tear that I will bleed. Sleep, baby, don't you cry. Daddy got a worn out lullaby. I live forever, dark and down. See you spend 1 minute, girl, and wonder.
Yeah, I mean, he can still do that. Now, there are many great singers out there, but the thing I like about Angie Aparo is that he actually writes his own songs, and his songs have substance. So while other artists are singing about getting people out of the friend zone, he's writing songs about battling depression and what it'll be like to raise a child in this world. On the subject of songwriting, he recently recorded an album. On it, he recorded songs in a very unique way, using the voice of Siri. The old Siri, not the new one. But the reason for this is because he had a stroke about 1.5 years ago and lost some of his short-term memory. Therefore, he couldn't remember the words to record the album in the traditional way. I'll put a little clicky thing up here so you can hear him share that story in his own words. Now, I know that musical taste is very individualized and varied, so his music may not appeal to everyone. But if you are interested in acoustic-driven music with lyrics that have depth and thought, you should really give him a listen. Okay, well, I think that's all I got for you this week. Please share your comments, let me know what you think. And if you enjoy this, please consider subscribing. And also, you can click here if you want to get right to his YouTube page. I think I can link you to his YouTube page through this. We'll see. And with that, I'll see you next week. He's writing songs about Sylvia Plath, battling depression, and getting people out of the friend zone. Wait, he's not writing about that. You know what I mean.